Welcome to Gen 3. I have started building my puppets back in April with paper towel, and now they have evolved. I started off building them out of paper towels, and the paper towel ones were actually way more complicated to build than the plastic ones. I mean, the docks was the most engineering I had to do with paper towels, probably anyone will do in their life. For each paper towel puppet, it took about 1 to 3 hours to build, mostly because you have to design and then create them. For example, Trashy and Wrinkle were pretty easy to create. I mean, you just wrap paper towels around your fingers and hand. Other ones, like the Docks and the Dragon, were way more complicated. The Dragon has more mechanisms inside of its body than just the wings and the head being connected to my wrist. And the Docks can move its jaw, and you have to build certain parts of it for that. Now we're on to the plastic ones. Oh boy, do those things take forever. Now when people ask me how long does it take me to build one of these things, they're expecting a short amount of time because they want to build one for themselves. And when I tell them, they're like, ooh. So it takes around 7 hours a day, and that, like, for about 3 days to build one. Spike took about 5 days. The Mantis took about 2 days. Tri-Rex took about a day because I just worked on him all day. Balagon actually took 4 days. And the new one I have took about 5 days. All of the plastic puppets, except for Spike, were a complete accident. All of their designs were accidents. The Mantis was the closest one to being close to its original design, but the others were way far off. Balagon was actually the early design for the Mantis, but I messed up so bad with the height of Balagon that I just turned it into what it was. So Balagon was originally going to be the Mantis, and then I built the Mantis after I built Balagon. Another fun fact about Balagon is that he was actually another early design for the skeleton puppet that still hasn't been made yet, but Balagon went from being the Mantis to the skeleton to being Balagon. As you can see with Balagon, you can see the skeleton's ribs of where it would have been. For the Mantis part of Balagon, it's actually the head. The head is the originator for Balagon. So I changed the head on the Mantis to reflect that, but ultimately decided against it. Now Tri-Rex is actually the furthest from its original design. Its original design was supposed to look more alien looking, but some head complications happened in the legs and the body, and the lack of plastic made me have to change that. So he was the last of Gen 2 to not actually be completed until I got my next shipment. So I had to completely rechange his design, and now he is what he is. So now he has arms, and he will eventually have a lower jaw. Or I'll just give him teeth, I don't know, we'll figure it out once I figure out when to do it. And now he also has nails on his feet, and now he's not just barefoot. All in all, he's the furthest from his original design, with no others helping him become into his new design. Now on to the Mantis. The Mantis is one of my more favorite puppets, but he's the most fragile. As you can see, his claws are pretty long, and his body is kind of falling apart. The most surprising stable part of him is his eyes and the dreadlocks of his antenna. He's more the dancer. Balagon's the lead dancer, and I would say the Mantis would be like the ballerina, or the backup dancer. Spike and Tri-Rex are more made for like family visits or just to bring him out and to have fun with him. But those two, those guys are for street performing. But again, designs changed on the Mantis. His head was supposed to be more bug-like or mantis-like, and he was supposed to have little spikes underneath his claws. But again, the same thing with the running low on the UV pink plastic. I couldn't make that happen. Also, his claws were meant to be moved up and down adjacent to his arm. They would be hooked up to a little rig on his neck, to where if the arm would move down, the claw would move up. So it would create this weird little fluent pattern of a mantis claw. But again, I didn't have the right materials in order to make that happen. Now on to Spike. Spike is my all-time favorite, and he was the first puppet I ever built. Even though there's some things wrong with him and how fragile he is, I still love to bring him outside and just film videos with him. Now, Spike is more of the family-friendly one. I'll bring him out and just mess around with him. I brought him to a beach, and boy, he got a pretty good amount of attention there. He also played with a little dog for a while. And also, Spike is the only one without any design changes from the original drawing. Spike is also the one with the most personality. He's very curious, and he just wants to mess around. Spike is the one who I can put the most personality and character into. Unlike Balagon or the Mantis, Spike doesn't really dance that good, so he's mostly there for just aesthetic look. But when he does make his appearance, he does it proudly. And finally, we have Ambert. Ambert is the only one who is the most experimental out of all of my puppets. I based his frill off of like a butterfly with the eyes and like the mouth. And his also secondary part of his design is based off of Spike. And his tail can actually move and wag and move with the ground. And he's only got one claw, mostly to prevent the other ones from popping off, along with when he moves on the ground. And he's also one of the more colorful ones. The most colorful puppet I had was a Tri-Rex, but he barely had any color. Ambert is now the one with the most experimental part of my puppets. He's got the most color, and now he can have more personality thanks to his tail. And there will be a lot more better videos with him coming out soon. All in all these puppets are great. I love messing around with them and giving them all fun personalities. To where they dance, to the way they move, to the way they behave. It's like magic. I'm giving life to these creatures, and with the power of the video, and with their UV colors, my hand will disappear and all you will see is the puppet, and how they interact with their environment and the music. And I hope to keep making more, and hopefully someday get closer to the designs that I want, and keep making more experimental puppets. Anyway, thanks for watching.